Hi again, it's been a minute. Sorry, I just got a bit busy over the past week, and then my spare time kind of got taken up by Persona 5. I got sucked in. Don't worry about it. Anyway, today we've got the Ebonroot origin created by the Discord user known as Captain Varnite. Let's get into the origin itself. The Ebonroot origin is a 3-impact origin. These creatures of the Sculk aim to carve through the world, spreading their colony whilst in search of rare minerals. The first ability is Blind. You can't see any entities by default unless they're related to Ebonroot, are within 6 blocks of you, or they are glowing. If you're attacked by an entity, they'll be marked with glowing for 1 minute. So I guess the ultimate way to explore this is if we come down here, we grab ourselves a fence and we grab ourselves the famous husk. We all know how it goes by now. I like a husk. They are my favorite stupid mob. So we can see the mob, but if we go about... Wow. You better hope that you are very... Yeah, that is pretty intriguing. It's like a form of darkness, but not really, because you can see everything else perfectly fine, and if you're listening to audio cues, you can still hear them, as well as you can see the subtitles still display noises for them, but you can't see them until you get close enough. And then, of course, if I go to survival mode, get close, get hit, and move away, as you can see, he's now glowing, so he won't actually disappear this time around, and he'll stay completely visible for the next minute. Neat. The Catalyst. Your sprint is tied to your Catalyst, which is essentially your body. You may place it anywhere in the world and enter spirit form. You may pick it back up by breaking it. Your Catalyst returns to you upon being destroyed or upon logging out. Nobody is able to use Silk Touch on your Catalyst. To use this ability, you trigger with Sneak and G. And so if I just press Sneak and G, as you can see, my frame just knocked out for a moment there. I'm assuming, and then it goes back to normal. That's weird. Okay, let's go to survival mode and do it. Yeah, so now we've got the Catalyst. My frames have disappeared, as you can see. Like, this is super choppy now. Oh, if I just get rid of it here, my frames immediately go back to 120 FPS, but the moment I use this ability, it drops down to 19 frames per second. That is nuts. What exactly does the spirit form do? I guess we're about to find out. Catalyst Teleportation. Since you're tied to your Catalyst, if you go beyond 43 blocks away from it, you start to take damage. However, you can teleport back to your Catalyst by clicking your secondary. This has a cooldown of 60 seconds. So that's why when I got into the desert over in that direction, I started taking damage, because I got far away from the Catalyst. That is quite intriguing. So if we just make a new Catalyst, lose all our frames again, and let's just say we go this way for a bit until we start taking damage. There it is. Back we go. Well, we just got too far away. Yep, there's a Catalyst. So we got too far away and I didn't get back in time. So we just go to this direction. We can see it over there. I press the secondary ability. It takes a few moments, but we teleport back to the Catalyst, and then we can get rid of it. Autocannibalism. You don't gain hunger points or saturation from food items. However, you can eat Sculk blocks to gain 1 hunger point and 4 saturation per block. However, if you need to fill hunger points while doing so, you won't gain any XP from breaking them. Additionally, you exhaust food at a negative 50% speed. Is that faster or slower? Like, exhaust food at negative 50% speed. Some people use negative percent as you do it this much slower, but also you do it this much faster, depending on the downside. Let's just run around for a bit and I could probably get a better understanding of the exhaustion. So far, it seems... I think it's lower. The sprint jumping usually makes bigger chunks when sprinting. Let's just sprint normally for a bit. You can see that black bar slowly going up with this origin. I think this is slower than usual. I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, we need to get to the other section of this ability where you can only eat Sculk blocks. I assume this requires them to be out in the world based upon how the ability is described. there's Sculk. Let's get a bunch of it. And if we right-click while it's in our inventory, no, we can't use it. But if I place it down, I mean, it would make sense that I can't use it because I've still got a lot of hunger. So let's just decrease that down. I'll get back to you in a moment when we do. Okay, we got rid of some hunger. So we can't eat the Sculk straight from our inventory. But what if I break them? Oh, that is really interesting. Okay, so with this origin, you don't eat the Sculk blocks. You need to place them. You need to have them out in the world, and you need to then mine them. Once you mine them, you will consume the block for hunger, which is really, really interesting. And also, the saturation is really good. No vibrations. You emit no vibrations, allowing you to not bother your shriekers or senses. That is, unless you step on them. As we all know by now, you can remove the existence of you getting sensed by Sculk senses, but it doesn't get rid of being sensed by them when you walk on top of them. But as you can see, you can jump and walk around it and it won't ever notice you. You have to walk directly on top of it for it to actually do anything, which is very intriguing, but that's just how it is. Still pretty good overall though. In this form, your mining speed and attack speed are slowed by 20%. However, you have a full health bar along with 6 armor and 6 armor toughness. This is your default form when holding your catalyst. So we're in the catalyst form currently. You can tell because I actually have smooth buttery frames. As you can see, got a full health bar. We've got 6 armor points. If we shift G and put down our catalyst, as you can see, we lose that armor points and our health bar, and our frames have gone back to 10 FPS. In spirit form, you lose any buffs nerfs from the catalyst form and lose half your health. Okay, I assume the buffs and negatives is purely just the what you get from the catalyst form rather than what you get from other sources. Anyway. Spread. In your spirit form, you can spread your territory within 8 blocks of the Sculk catalyst. Spreading territory spends 5 XP points or 5 hunger points if you don't have XP. Spreading territory can provide passive abilities. This is triggered with G. Oh, so this is also another way you add Sculk blocks. So we're within our range of here, and if we just press G. Oh my. Oh, that is cool. And it just used up all our hunger. Let's quickly eat some food. Eat some nutrition. Why was it consuming my hunger before then? Maybe it won't go under a certain amount. Let's just keep spreading the love. Okay, so it got close to 50. It got close to 50 and then stopped consuming our experience points. I wonder how that works, because it was fine going... Oh, this is now at the point where we were before. Okay, so if I can clear experience, set my thing to 0 levels, and then give myself, let's say, experience add amount of, let's go 1,000, 10,000 points. We're now back up at 60, and then this should just start going perfectly fine again, because now we've got like much points. Okay, I'm assuming that the issues I was having there was purely because I set my level to 50 and not that, and I didn't give myself experience points instead. If we break this, what happens? Everything else is still here, but we just now got rid of the catalyst. This is such an interesting thing. I really, really like this. Oh, we've got a full bar of something. I guess we're about to know that. Sculk passives. While you're in spirit form and standing on Sculk blocks, you receive 2 times break speed and the ability to harvest pick mineable materials with your fist. We saw that before. I was instantaneous. Like, if we just go back to the catalyst mode again, go back to 10 frames per second, as you can see, we now quite quickly break our Sculk. Now that I'm not on it, it's still normal. Let's say we go to creative mode here and we get ourselves a diamond ore. This is probably a very interesting test. Put it there. Go back to survival mode. Let's mine it and see what happens. We just got the diamond from it. From a diamond block. Wow. That is actually really, really cool. I really like this. Sculk sensor detection. In spirit form, any entity that has activated a Sculk sensor is highlighted for you. I mean, we saw that before when we... Well, let's just drop an item. As you can see, it activated the sensors. That just went off. And their diamond ore was glowing for a moment. We pick it back up, throw it down again, it glows again, and that goes off. But it's glowing for a split moment, but it glows. And if you're paying attention, you'll know exactly where things are in your territory. Streaker conversion. You can consume streakers to summon Sculk allies to help you mine. You can only have up to 7 of these allies. These allies will give you 1 random ore every time you mine an ore block. Furthermore, they'll be able to tank 1 hit for you. However, upon tanking that hit, the ally dies. Also, if you leave the game, all your allies will die and be given to you as shriekers. Lastly, you can convert Sculk sensors into shriekers for the cost of 10 XP or hunger points. That's a lot. Click the use key on a shrieker to summon an ally. Click the sneak plus G key to convert a sensor while looking at it. Okay, so we got a sensor over here. Okay, wrong key. There's one over here. And it's gone. And as you can see, we've now got an ally following us around. And if we shift G, it turns into a sensor, into a shrieker, and then we can right-click it for an ally. Holy. And then if I put down this diamond ore and we break it, oh, Jesus. And then as you saw with that, both the allies gave me 2 raw iron when I mined the diamond ore. That is really, really cool. I really, really like that. This is honestly probably one of the more unique Sculk-based origins I've come across, purely because this doesn't put you in the deep dark to start with. You just start Minecraft as would anyone else, and rather than enjoying the Sculk caverns yourself, your basic task is you're spreading the Sculk throughout the world. As you can see here, this is all created via the experience points and hunger that I have. And of course, if you want hunger back, you can always consume this in order to, well, not starve. And you get a fair amount of saturation for it too, which is pretty amazing. Like, I really love this design. Such a unique origin. What is that water? Oh, it's flowing into that. Okay, weird. But yeah, what are your thoughts on this one? Let me know in the comments down below, and click this video on screen now for more Origins content. Also, subscribe. Until next time, guys. Bye-bye!